Hi, this is Pastor Joseph with Life Family, and I want to give you a little extra because it's the little things done consistently that make a big difference. Today we're talking about Psalms 23 and 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You see, there always will be a valley that we have to walk through. Valleys represent decisions. Valleys represent that area between two great mountaintops of achievements and accomplishment, the reality of what you worked hard for. Those valleys are those dark moments, those questionable times where you don't know if you're going to make it or not. Those dark times where you just are happy and glad just to make it through another day with your mind and your health and the food on your table. You're not asking for any extras in life, but it's in those valley times that the Bible tells us when we are in the valley, He's with us. And it tells us how to go through the valley. Don't make a house in the valley. Don't make it your permanent residence. If you find yourself in the valley, just keep walking. Just keep going forward in faith. Just know, like the scripture says in Psalms 23 and 4, that He is with you. And listen to what it says. Because He's with you, you don't have to be afraid. Yes, your valley is real. Yes, it's dark, and yes, it's steep and deep. But don't be afraid, because as you're taking your steps out of the valley, you have one in the valley that's going to see you through. So you don't have to be afraid. The Bible also says in this scripture, we don't have to be afraid because He's with us, because His rod and His staff, they comfort us. You see, the rod for the shepherd was an instrument of correction for his sheep. And where if the sheep was going too far astray, that shepherd, because of his care and his love, would correct that sheep with that rod. Sometimes it would be a gingerly touch to get it back in the fold and back in the mix. Sometimes it was a stern strike. So that way that sheep would know how dangerous it was going to leave the care of the shepherd. A staff was also part of his instruments. A staff was a long pole that had a hook at the top of it, because if the sheep wandered too far off and went off the cliff, or they were too far out of his reach from his hands, that staff was an extension of who he was to bring that sheep back into the fold. And what the sheep is saying is that when it wanders astray, when it gets itself into a mess, it's comforting to know that the shepherd's love is going to strike in correction. The shepherd's love is going to reach with that staff. You see, there is twofold purpose to the rod and the staff. You need the rod of correction, and you need the staff of consolation. That correction gives us a moment to where we are rescued from our own faulty thinking, our own false feelings, our own way of wandering from God's love and God's truth. The rod of consolation lets us know that He loves us and He cares about us so much that He's going to rescue you when we've gone astray, and rescue you when you've fallen off the cliff of bad decisions. I've been there, and I know you have been too. So here's the wonderful part. He is our great comfort. So stop trying to do it all yourself. When you're in the valley, stop feeling like you're alone. Stop feeling like you can't make it, and start believing that the Lord, our great shepherd, is with you, and He's going to see you through, that He's going to bring His comfort and His peace to correct what needs correcting and to pull you out of whatever mess you're in. That's the promise of a good shepherd, Jesus Christ, watching over our souls. If you enjoyed today's little extra, why don't you share, subscribe, and like this content? Why don't you send it to somebody who could use a little encouragement, that might be down, there might be in their valley, but let them know the Lord's with them and He's going to lead them through. Thank you for being a part of our community. And like I say, give God a little extra today, because it's the little things done consistently over time that make a big difference. God bless.